Okay, friends, we're back. We got kicked off.
It's like Instagram gave us rules and was like,
Rude.
bye.
Yeah, we didn't want the first part to get deleted, so we switched over here. Hopefully I can stitch them together. I'll do that in. But anyway, so yeah, so we were talking about like body and the food. That also is just like my last question to you of like, what were more of the tools that helped you on your sober curiosity journey? Like what was that like? What helped just to help spur
Yeah.
ideas for other people curious to get on the
Well,
journey?
definitely books like this. Just like having someone else walk through sobriety, sober curiosity in this way was really, really helpful. And if it's not your jam to like do AA meetings, then like don't force it. I think it's good perspective, but at the same time, you know what's best for you and you know your body. And if it's not your truth to be in those meetings, then like what is it actually serving? Um, Also, another thing is like on your social media, following things. I know it was helpful for me to follow sober curious people. I do follow some sober people too. They have there's so many accounts that you can follow. Um, I also follow the Sober Girl Society, which has a lot of helpful like tools and tricks. If like, there are months at a time where I don't want to drink anything and I need to go back to basics, or like, this is an ever evolving thing of experimentation. It's really finding what works for you. If you are in a house with people, like asking people to respect that you are taking this journey, that was very helpful for me at my home space to have that space to be fully expressed without alcohol. Um, I had a therapist for most of this, so that was very helpful having therapy. Um, yeah, exercise is definitely helpful. Running, I got back into running more recently, but like finding something that really works for you, because I know that there's a lot for me. There was a lot of emotions that felt more manageable when I was exercising a lot. Because I know you and I were going to the gym like every morning for like solid few months, and that was very helpful for me
Yeah.
because it gave me a stability, structure. And honestly, like if you're in the service industry too, just like going home after work is okay.
Mm.
Going home after work, not stopping and getting wine, Netflix and chilling is totally fine. Coping with what you got right now is fine. But it's okay. Like giving yourself permission each step of the way to make the choices you are, to stop people pleasing. It just does not serve you in the end, just being graceful, like a lot of grace with yourself during this time it's a huge change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just going to say about like the permission of like, it's okay to go home. Like that could be a real epiphany to some people. Like
Mm-hmm.
socially, we just don't see other ways of being that are
Mm-hmm.
more favorable to our well-being. And that's why, when people ask me what my purpose is in doing the ease mentoring work, it's literally to just embody another way.
Mm-hmm.
I watch
Mm-hmm.
women just drive their bodies into the ground, not able to cope with the things that you're talking about, and to just have the permission to know other ways of being. And what I appreciate about all the tools that you just shared is like that alone would be freaking life-changing, transformational
Holy shit.
tools.
Yeah.
But then you took it like, you took it warrior mode of like going deep into healing your trauma, like through Sunlight with Survivors. I'd love for you to mention
Yes.
talk
Yeah.
about that with your
Yeah.
body training. Like you had people around you through
Mm-hmm.
this work.
I had a lot of people around me that were experiencing trauma in expressed ways, which I had never been around.
What does
Like,
that mean?
in expressed ways, meaning they were living in their bodies, experiencing their trauma, not as if they had to be stuck there all the time. It was the ebb and flow of feeling things as they come and feeling things as they come up. Sunlight for Survivors was huge for me. I attended that last year. That's where I met my soul friends. I have two incredible soul friends that I speak with every single day that, have very similar views on a lot of things, but like at the same time, we show up for each other. We are honest. We hold each other accountable. We hold ourselves accountable. these are the type of conscious relationships that I never thought would be possible. And because I stepped into my trauma of like going like a little bit deeper, like there's so many things to Google, even if you're like, there's so many things to Google now that like, it's incredible. So having, you know, resources, like I honestly, I found Sunlight for Survivors through Instagram because I was looking at women's retreats, and then it took me to women trauma retreats, and then like, what? And I'm like, how is this even a thing? And Brittany, who runs Sunlight, is an incredible resource for so much goodness. So that was incredible. And then I did my embodied teacher training with Nadia Moonla, which was incredible. Like the way that I could help women facilitate an experience for women to inhabit their bodies more fully, while I was also journeying into doing the same thing. I mean, it's still like, I'm still one of the newer teachers, and it's incredible.
And for
It's
those
so
that
beautiful.
don't know Embody, what is Embody explicitly?
Yeah, Embody is a movement meditation class for women to inhabit their bodies more fully. So we run through like different archetypes. There's different like we pick the music, and it's a really beautiful. It's essentially a dance moving meditation class, and it's a really beautiful expression as well. Yeah.
So the point in that is like how much you invested in your own wellness, time, money, energy, and how much help you had around you for this journey. We are not meant to live this life alone, and we are especially not meant to walk through the hardest bits of our lives alone, period. We're not meant to do that.
And I think one of the biggest things too is being able to take up space with my partner and laying it all out there, laying it not all at once, but like laying it all out there where I'm like, this is my baggage. This is my shit. You know, I used to do that in the first like few weeks of dating someone, just to be like, so that's your exit plan. Bye. Like, you don't have to stay around for this. But like, I really, from an embodied place, was like, here's all the stuff I'm dealing with. It's, you know, it's not the easiest thing every day, but it's not always that. And that's the thing about sober curiosity. It's not always that. There's so much more to life. There's so much more than this one thing. Imagine what happens when you get this one thing under control and you figure it out. Oh my God, like so much more is out there. And another resource I just want to give too is like you don't have to like, that's one of the things in the Sober Curious book is like, you don't have to like go to every party and be like, I'm sober, I can't, sorry. You know, you don't have to tell people shit. This is your fucking journey. You don't got to tell anybody, no, you know, like you do not need to say anything. You grab your soda water and your lime and you feel like a sexy bitch because you deserve it. And you deserve to treat your body like that. You deserve it. And you're not judging other people for the choices that they're making. You're just living in your lane. You're in your own shit bucket so that you can stay in your own bucket and deal with your own shit. You're not pulling other people's stuff in there. You're not putting your stuff in other people's bucket. To be present with who you are at something like a social gathering, it's gonna feel uncomfortable. It is. What does it feel like to just stay in that space for a while? Knowing it's gonna be uncomfortable. Okay, then that's the worst that can happen. Yeah. And what is that? It's discomfort. It'll pass, you know? Yeah.
So good. It's so empowering. I just like see your like queen's crown just like here we are, people.
Yes.
Like illuminated.
Yeah.
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 So good. It's so good. I'm just thank you for sharing your story around this, because it feels like this whole blossom of a flower opened up in the middle of the two extremes of like, you know, what we think about addiction, the very extreme examples that we've been shown in our culture, and like straight sobriety and like the very stereotypical idea of what that is. And then here you are in the middle, finding your own dance. And just with it's just not black and white. Like there's so much in the middle, and it's allowed to be messy. You're allowed to find your own flavor of it. And that's ultimately like what this human experience is about, is like finding your own authentic way through it all so that we can become most ourselves.
Yeah. And through all of that, just knowing that you deserve to live an expressed life. You know, there are so many people, I think, that are caught in between what they want and what's normal. And let me tell you, normal was built on some bullshit. Okay. And we are seeing that. We're literally seeing that with the pandemic right now. Normal is not where we want to be. Where we want to be is a fully expressed version of ourselves, is the human experience, you know? So just give yourself a chance to feel that. What would it feel like? You can run and hide. You can like run back and like, oh no, I didn't like that, and go back to your friends. It's fine. You can do whatever.
That's
Like there's no right or wrong way to do all of this. Yeah.
beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Tasha. Where can people find you if they want to hear more about your story and what else you're up to?
Yeah, I am Tasha Brandt, Tasha_Brandt_ on Instagram. And I am on Facebook as Tasha Brandt as well. I have a public page there. You and I do the Waking Women Workshop series, which is another place to connect. I also, I just taught a virtual embody class, so I'm going to take some space from teaching virtually now because technology, but you can take embody. There's a lot of information on my pages. There's a lot of different avenues. So reaching out, I'm available.
You're up to so many cool things.
Thanks.
So it's all morphing and expanding.
Yeah. And if there's any empaths out there that don't even know what that means, but they feel like a highly sensitive being, that is who I have been working with. So yeah.
So if you want, guidance on finding your own authentic journey with sober curiosity and beyond, Tasha's a wonderful resource. I'm also here on the Ease Mentoring front. Check out crystalbrandt.com/resources. This interview, along with other interviews and other resources for grounding and clearing your energy, especially during this time that we're in. You can find all of that for free over there. I've got meditations as well. So basically, moral of the story, we've got options. You're so supported. You're so, we love you. Thank you for tuning in. And we wish you so much expansion and love on your own personal healing journey.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
We love you.